What is going on, guys? It is Stab, and today we are venturing into week 2 of the Stab League. Now, I tried to record this before, but the dimensions got thrown off somehow, so here we go again. But last week, if you weren't around, actually, before I spoil for you guys, please go check out the playlist, which will be in the description. See what happened week 1, and then come back here, and we'll continue on. Alright, so basically last week we took out Alyssa in the first week, and we started off the season on a very, very high note as we were able to notch a clean 6-0 victory. Now, of course, it was Alyssa's first match ever, and I think we all remember ours. So, yes, she wasn't the most experienced, but all the same, I know Alyssa, she would not have wanted me to go easy on her just because of lack of experience, and we were able to notch a 6-0 shutout like I mentioned. But differential-wise, that is very important for the rest of the season, so very good start. Now, this week, in week 2, we are taking on Samm. Now, in Samm's week 1, she faced Graham, and she notched a very clutch 1-0 victory, greatly helped out by Graham's justified boost on Terrakion, but what are you going to do? She won, and we got to take her on. So, reading off Samm's team, as you see right there, she has Zapdos, Mew, Infernape, Nidoqueen, Bisharp, Terrakion, like I mentioned, and Klefki, Slowking, Kyurem, Cut, and Mega Gyarados. Now, last week, because of that justified boost, Terrakion got 4 kills, and as you look and see my team right next to her, we do not have a lot for Terrakion on our team, so that is going to be a major, major threat that we have to prepare for this week. I do believe that I have the team to handle that pretty well. Other threats on our team include the Infernape. Double fighting could be very, very detrimental and a major problem for our team. Klefki, because it spreads T-Wave and Spikes, could also be very annoying. Kyurem is very strong. Granted, it is not Kyurem Black like on Cam's team there, but Kyurem is still a threat nonetheless. If Gyarados gets us some boosts, it could be a problem. And then, of course, she has Mew, and you never know what Mew's going to do. So, quite a few threats. Oh, and Nidoqueen. Can't forget about that one. That has enough coverage to hit basically my whole team super effectively, and if it's a offensive sheer force variant, that'll be a major problem because of the damage output it can do. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the team like I mentioned before. We did construct a very powerful squad, and I think that we can match up with their threats pretty well with what I have brought this week. I will be right back, guys, and we will go over the team. Alright, friends, so this is the team I've constructed to go against Samm. As you see here, we have Lemon Party leading off, making his debut on the season. Now, this is a Pokemon that I knew I needed right away because they were fighting threats as we go back to the team building guide. Not the team building guide, what the hell? The league doc. As you see here, Zapdos matches up, not Zapdos, well, Zapdos does match up well against Azumarill, but Azumarill matches up pretty well against most of her team. As you see, her team is quite weak to water as she has the Infernape, Terrakion, the Nidoqueen that don't appreciate stuff like Waterfall. And yeah, but as you see, we are carrying 4 moves. We are carrying the Aqua Jet, the Knockoff, the Waterfall, and the Play Rough. Now, Waterfall and Aqua Jet will be the ones that we're most likely to spam. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, so, as I said, Aqua Jet, Knockoff, Waterfall, and Play Rough. Now, Waterfall and Aqua Jet are the most likely to be spam moves. They hit, like we said, a lot of things on our team. Play Rough is mainly only there for the Mega Gyarados. It one-shots it, especially if it's an offensive variant. She wouldn't bring anything other than offensive, I don't think, because even like a defensive variant doesn't match up very well against my team because, as you see here, I have things like Low Punny. So, yeah, Play Rough for Mega Gyarados, Waterfall and Aqua Jet for pretty much anything else. Aqua Jet into, actually Waterfall plus Aqua Jet on a Zapdos switch, it will actually just knock it out, especially after Stealth Rock if I'm able to get those up. So that's a nice thing there. Knockoff is pretty much general utility against things like Mew and the Slowking. Granted, we don't want to risk burns from Scald or Will-O-Wisp, so we won't actually stay in on things like that, but in this switching, to take a water move, we can just hit it with Knockoff, do a lot of damage. As you see, the spread here with the Assault Vest is basically just the general Assault Vest spread. What that does allow us to do is it does allow us to take hits through things like Zapdos and Nidoqueen. It's mainly for the Nidoqueen, though, as we can survive a Sludge Wave, Life Orb, Sheer Force, doesn't matter. It'll still do a lot. We won't live it that well, but it'll allow us to survive and get off a Waterfall that should just knock it out pretty easily. So yeah, that's a Azumarill, very big win condition for us this week. Next, we are making another debut with our boy Excadrill. Sand Digger has returned to the Sacred Fire, and he's carrying the Life Orb with the Sand Rush ability. We are rolling with Sand Rush as we can outspeed a lot of our team, and we do have the coverage moves to hit it. We are carrying Iron Head, Earthquake, Rock Slide, and Rapid Spin. Now, Iron Head is there for things like the Kyurem, the Terrakion on a possible switch in, general things to hit most of our team. Earthquake is nice because it knocks out things like the Infernape and the what do you call it? The Terrakion, yeah. So those, and then we have Rock Slide. Rock Slide is pretty much for just coverage on everything else that doesn't get hit by Earthquake or Iron Head. So things like the Zapdos and the even our strongest attack to hit Rotom at 2 KOs pretty easily, and then we can also hit the Kyurem with that as well if we need to on a switch. So, yeah, that's nice. We just had to worry about missing it. Shouldn't miss. Extrador's well trained, but we have it there. And plus, we can get a nice flinch, and that'll be really nice. Fourth move, I debate on X Scissor to hit the Rotom a little bit harder, but really, we just need Rapid Spin because things like the Terrakion could be a Stealth Rock lead variant, even though I'm expecting a Scarf because that's something that will be most effective against our team. She also has Klefki, and I wouldn't appreciate these spike stacks. We can just get rid of that pretty easily. Plus, Klefki can't really do anything to actually draw 1v1, and we can easily spin on that. We'd spin on most of our team. That's not things like the Infernape or the Terrakion. Even the Zapdos can't really hit us with anything other than Heat Wave, so we can potentially spin on that as well. EV-wise, 48 in HP and 4 in defense is some bulk to have, max attack to hit as hard as possible, then 204 in speed to outspeed a Jolly Bisharp outside of Sand, and then inside of Sand, that's enough speed to hit everything. The nice thing about Sam's team, if you look again, she has the Infernape and the Terrakion, which of course hit 108 base speed. Then it falls down to Mew and Zapdos at 100, and then it drops all the way down to Kyurem and Rotom at 89, I believe. Well, Kyurem might be faster at 89, but it's the point is it's a very slow team. It's definitely offensive power, but it's nice and slow. So we didn't really have to creep that much on most things. As I was saying. Yeah, that's basically Excadrill. And then we got our Sand support, our Tyranitar. Now, I really wanted to run Smooth Rock on this to make sure we had as many Sand turns as possible, but because she has the possibility of bringing both her fighting types, both of which hit Tyranitar pretty hard, we do the Chople Berry in order to survive. And then the nice thing about that is, if you look at our moveset, we have Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Crunch, and Stone Edge. For instance, if Terrakion were to hit us with a close combat, we could survive because of our Chople Berry and then easily knock it out with an Earthquake after its close combat drop. So that works out pretty well. Like I said, Stealth Rock, she doesn't have the most things that are hit super effectively by Stealth Rock, but the chip damage is always nice. Earthquake, I already mentioned, stuff like the Terrakion, the Infernape. Crunch is mainly for the Slowking and the Rotom. Another nice thing about Earthquake is it actually 2 KOs defensive Slowking, so that's nice. Stone Edge is there mostly to hit the Kyurem, so Kyurem and the Zapdos, but mainly the Kyurem, as after Stealth Rock is an easy 1 KO. This Chople Berry is nice because of not only her fighting types, but also because of the fighting coverage she could have on our team. The only thing we got to worry about is Specs Kyurem with Focus Bias actually still hit KO. It still knocks us out through the Chople Berry, so we do have to watch out for that. But other than that, it should be fine. Bringing a very similar set EV-wise as we did last week, but definitely a bigger emphasis on defense instead of special defense because she has some pretty hard physical attackers. Ronda Rousey is making her return. This is supposed to be Mega Low Pony, but roll with it. We are carrying Limber, so she can't get off a priority T-Wave on us on a switch-in on Klefki, so it protects us a little bit from that. We have Fake Out, Return, High Jump Kick, and Baton Pass. Unlike Alyssa's team, Fake Out is there to get the free Mega, of course, but then Return High Jump Kick is literally everything I need to hit Sam's team pretty hard. As you're going to see here, Zapdos, I could have Ice Punch for Zapdos, but Return actually does more damage. Return does a lot of damage to Mew, especially if it's offensive. High Jump Kick / Return does a lot to Infernape, because Infernape is frail in general. Return does a lot to offensive Nidoqueen. Otherwise, I do have other things for Nidoqueen. Bisharp gets knocked out by High Jump Kick. Terrakion gets knocked out by High Jump Kick. High Jump Kick still does a lot to Klefki, even if it's physically defensive. We just have to worry about a T-Wave. Defensive Slow King is still not very defensive, so it actually gets to a KO. But return, Kirim just dies to high jump kick. Rotom actually dies to high jump kick, and then of course Mega Gyarados, being a dark type, dies to high jump kick or 2 returns, whichever one we want to go for in that situation. EVs wise, really very simple. 88 HP just left for a bulk, maximum attack, adamant nature. Because our team is so slow, we only have to run adamant, and this is enough speed to reach 348 to outspeed her fastest things, being the Infernape and the Terrakion. So, very powerful threat against our team. Now, Ninja Please is returning. We brought Layfor last time. This time we're bringing Expert Belt just because we can hit a lot of our team, and I really don't want the Life Orb Recall wearing us down too quickly. As you see here, we're carrying Scald, Dark Pulse, and Ice Beam along with U-Turn. So if you want to look at our team real quick, Dark Pulse hits things like Mew and Slowking. Scald is just general good utility. We can pretty much knock out a Fernape. We can knock out Terrakion after a little bit of prior damage, and then we can get burns on pretty much everything else. Ice Beam is there for things like the Zapdos and the Nidoqueen, as well as the Rotom Cut after Stealth Rocket knocks it out pretty easily. Now, because we're not carrying the Ice Beam, the last move slot was pretty much up for grabs. I could have gone... wow, I just grabbed Low Bunnies, but my bad, guys. U-Turn is there for nice momentum against especially things like the Mew, so we don't get vacuum waved or we don't get Will-O-Wisp for no reason, or Toxic even. Also, we have enough attack investment as we go over the EVs here to 2-hit KO an offensive Mega Gyarados pretty easily. So extra HP, then we have the 56 guaranteeing the 2-hit KO on the Gyarados, max special attack, and then enough speed to outspeed, like I said, her fastest things. Her base 108's her Infernape and her Terrakion. So, lastly, rounding out the lineup, we have our boy Verge making his debut, and I really hope Verge does well in this game because it's a really nice set and it should do a lot of work against our team. We're running a Choice Scarf Moxie set with knockoff Earthquake, Stone Edge, and Superpower. Knockoff for things like Mew and Slowking, and then Earthquake for the usual Terrakion, Infernape, the like pretty spammable move once her, I'll show you the team one more time, once her Zapdos and really, once our Zapdos and a Rotom are gone, Earthquake is pretty spammable, so it's possible that we can get a nice Earthquake sweep going. Stone Edge we have there for things like the Rotom Cut and the Kyurem. It actually OHKOs Kyurem, so that's nice. Last move, I could have Pursuit here, but Pursuit really only affected the Mew, and Superpower actually after Rocks just straight up KOs the Kyurem, so we don't have to risk the Stone Edge miss. EVs wise, 40 HP plus 44 defense means that we're not too KO'd by Scarf and Fernape's Mach Punch, and then we have maximum attack power. Again, this is enough to, the speed of 172 is enough to outspeed a Jolly Bisharp as well as a, Scarf Bisharp as well as the Terrakion and the Infernape. But anyway, guys, basically the plan will be to either lead off with the Azumarill or the Lopunny. That will mainly depend on if she brings the Nidoqueen or not. If she brings the Nidoqueen, I really have no reason not to lead off with Lemon Party and just click Waterfall after she goes for the Poison move, more than likely Sludge Wave. If it's not there, I'm not really worried about the Mew, so we can lead off with Rhonda here and get off a free Fake Out and get our Mega up quickly early game. So, yeah, that is basically the plan. I do feel very prepared for this, and I do think that we will do very well against Samm in this game. The battle has already happened, so as soon as I get time to record that, you guys will see that as well. But yes, I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like if you did, comment if you want to, and if you have not subscribed yet, you can do that as well. Anyway, guys, I'm Stab, and I'm out.